Oh boy, time for more cringe. The blonde freaks out in his head. Craig looks down at him with a waiting face. You have 10 seconds, he says. Ah, Tweak yells. He quickly tries to think of something to say, but he can't seem to think of anything. So instead, he's thinking of doing something. He opens his eyes and looks up at Craig. I don't even care right now. He shuts his eyes, and before he can think twice about it, slightly sits up and wraps his arms around Craig. Craig. I. Tweak says nothing more. He doesn't know what else to say. Craig is slightly taken by surprise, but most immediately wraps his arms around Tweak's small body. I knew it, he says. He feels Tweak shaking and twitching in his arms. Now your turn, Craig says, and brings Tweak slowly away from him and sits up. What? Craig smiles slightly. Now you ask me truth or dare. Tweak twitches. Gah! I don't know what to do. I don't have a truth or dare. God, this is way too much pressure. He yells out. Craig says silently, truth or dare, Tweak says nervously, not knowing what to say. Truth, Craig says, knowing that Tweak wouldn't say the dare he wanted. Do, Tweak started. God, do you like me? Tweak twitched his eyes and nervously spoke. Craig smiled and replied, Yes, of course I do. He said, almost sounding too real to be true, but completely serious. Truth or dare? Tweak looked down and thought again. Jesus, I don't want to say dare, but this isn't fun. God, what would he say though? What if? Dare, he said, not even realizing it. Craig grinned, leaned close to Tweak's ear, and whispered something. Tweak's eyes widened and he turned red all over. He looked at Tweak and nodded, shaking and twitching even more. Craig grinned. Tweak leaned closer and closer to Craig until he finally reached his face. Oh my God. Taking a breath, he leaned up as close as possible and pressed his lips against Craig's. I'm sorry, I'm fangirling. Craig wrapped his arms around Tweak again. Again. Kissing him back, it got deeper and deeper until Tweak pulled away out of his breath. Redder than before, and shaking less, he pulled his arms over Craig's neck and went back to kiss him again. Craig slowly started to creep his tongue into Tweak's mouth. Tweak, not even realizing it, opened his mouth slightly and let Craig explore. Craig didn't miss an inch and pulled away when he finished. He then went for Tweak's neck, kissing and sucking everywhere until Tweak let out a small noise, letting Craig know he found the sweet spot. Craig, what if my mom comes out and sees us? He asks worriedly. Craig takes his face away from Tweak's neck and thinks, quickly, hey, let's go of Tweak. What? Stan picks him up bridal style and carries him over the hill until they were out of sight in a large group of trees. There, problem solved, Craig said while setting Tweak down against a tree. Before Tweak knew it, Craig was on top of him, and right back exactly where he left off, biting and sucking at Tweak's soft spot on his neck. Tweak quietly moans and twitches his head, barely shaking anymore. This is weird. Craig grins and continues down Tweak's neck. He reaches under Tweak's shirt and starts playing with one of his nipples while using his other hand to hold Tweak's back up. Tweak quietly exclaims. He holds Craig's neck a little tighter, but not too tight. But more, Craig, he says. Craig smiles, and the rest... Craig smiles at the request and comes back up to give Tweak a small kiss. I'm scared to go forward. Okay, back to Craig's voice. None of my real voice anymore. Okay. He comes up to Tweek's ear and whispers, "Of course." He bites Tweek's ear to hear a satisfying moan. He slowly takes his hands down to Tweek's shirt and unbuttons it. But they're fucking 10 years old. Why are they doing this? When it's unbuttoned, Craig stares at Tweek's bare chest, and he kisses his jawline and slowly moves down until he reaches one of the nipples. He kisses, licks, sucks, and bites as Tweek twitches his head and moans. At least they're not having sex. Tweek takes Craig's hat off and throws it to the side to mess with his hair. He smiles and twitches and moans. Craig finished and starts taking off Tweek's shirt entirely. Until he finishes, he takes his own jacket and shirt off. Tweek stares at Craig's chest in awe of how muscular he actually was. He twitches and goes for another kiss. While in a deep, passionate kiss, Craig reaches, oh no, down to unzip and starts taking Tweek's pants and shoes off. He sucks ass. God! Tweek yells and lifts his leg up, letting only his boxers and socks touch the ground. He grabs a hold of Craig, not to let his back touch the ground either. "It's cold," he yells. Craig looks around and thinks for a moment. As if by luck, he sees a half piece of log stands up, puts Tweek in a standing position against a tree, and puts the log under where Tweek stood. He motions for Tweek to go back the way he was laying. "Better?" he asks. Tweek nods, and Craig takes his shoes, socks, and pants off, and gets back on the top of Tweek. Tweek sits up a little and starts lightly kissing Craig's neck and puts his arms around him. Craig smiles and starts playing with the blonde's already messy hair. Tweek twitches and ends up hitting Craig in the jawbone. I'm sorry. God, I screwed everything up. Tweek holds Craig tighter and starts crying. Craig feels the hot tears steam down his back. He pulls Tweek's head away and kisses him for a good 10 seconds. "Calm the fuck down. It's not your fault. Don't worry about it," Craig says. He kisses the tears off Tweek and continues until Tweek seemed to be all better. Then he continues down past his neck and stops. Down right where his boxers were. He slowly starts slipping them off while looking at Tweek once in a while to make sure he was fine until they were completely off thrown to the side. Craig looked at Tweek's almost hard cock. I'm gonna skip the sex because I can't. Craig sits up and pulls Tweek with him. He moves Tweek closer to the tree, not too long before Tweek realizes what Craig is doing. He twitches and takes a breath in and back out. He looks at Craig just to be certain. Craig sees what Tweek is questioning and nods at what he was aiming for. Tweek looks down at Craig's large member and brings his head down. First to lick the nips of the tick. There's sex. Okay, this is gonna be the last part. The boys look at the sun and see it's almost time. Okay, I'm never reading a fan fiction again. This is the last part. Goodbye, guys. Hope you enjoyed my cringy Craig voice. It was really awful. Okay, goodbye.